Good morning, everyone. I just sent out the link and we will get started in about 5 minutes. Welcome. I hope everyone had a good week, whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching on the replay. It's Saturday morning here in upstate New York, and I'm excited to flow with everybody. Just a few more minutes and we'll get started. We'll give it one more minute, see if anyone else wants to join for the live, and then we will get started. All right, let's get going. So we're going to start with a little grounding exercise. So let's start in a comfortable seated position. If you want to prop your hips up on some kind of a prop to give them a little bit of a lift, pick a position you can sit in for a hot second because we're going to be here for a few minutes. So maybe you're in cross-legged position, easy pose. Maybe you're on your knees, whatever feels comfortable here. Stack your head above your heart above your hips. Let your hands fall on your knees, palms down if you feel like you need a little grounding today, palms up if you feel like you need to receive a little energy. Slight tuck of the chin to elongate the back of the neck. Let your eyes come to a soft gaze in front of you or flutter all the way closed. Start to bring your attention inward, letting go of anything that's not going to serve you in this next hour. Letting go of any tension in the eyebrows or the jaw, the temples. Letting shoulders melt down at your sides, inner thighs, abdominals, everything just relax. Leaving any thoughts, any to-do lists, any worries or struggles, leave them off the mat today. Don't worry, they'll be wherever you need them to be when you need them, but you don't need them for this next hour. Take a quick scan of the body, starting with the crown of the head, moving all the way through to the toes. Just checking in where you're at today. Are there any points of tension? Any areas that feel a little different today than they felt yesterday or the last time you were on your mat? And just check in. When you've finished your scan of the body, bring your attention to the breath. The rise and the fall of the belly with every inhale and every exhale. Without changing anything just yet, take stock of the lengths of your inhales and your exhales. Is one maybe longer than the other? Maybe they're the same. Just take a moment to check in. Wherever your inhales or exhales are, start to even them out. So lengthen whichever is shorter to meet the other. And if they were already the same, lengthen both by just one count. Wherever you are, on your next inhale, you're going to lengthen both your inhale and your exhale by one more count. This is the deepest breath you've taken. And continue this breath in a few cycles. We're going to lengthen the breath by just one more count for the last time. Completely filling your belly and your lungs with air. And completely exhaling to empty everything out. Continue this long, deep, delicious breath for the next few cycles. Wherever you are, exhale everything out and come back to a regular breath pattern. Still closed or gentle gaze. Take a moment here to check in. Is your breath maybe a little deeper than it started with your natural breath? Maybe not, just to check in here. Are you feeling any different than when you first sat down? Flutter your eyes open, and let's get started with some movement. If you'd like to remove the prop from underneath your hips, if you took that, go right ahead. Press your sits bones down into the earth to push the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. Arms fall to the sides. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, drop them all the way back down. Inhale, arms come up. Maybe crossing at the top. Exhale, all the way down, crossing at the bottom. Inhale, up. Pulse. Exhale, down. Pulse. We're going to add a little hold here. So you'll inhale up. Hold the breath. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up. Pause the breath. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale up. Pause the breath. Exhale, keep your left hand up, drop your right hand to the right side. Let's take a side body stretch here. Lean over to the side. Ground the left sits bone into the mat. Maybe come down to forearm if that feels good. Maybe let your gaze come. And let's come all the way down to make a circle. Pause in the front with your arms straight out in the. And we're going to come all the way back down for another circle, pausing in the front. This time, crawl your arms out in front of you, sit your sits bones back into the earth, and drop the forehead toward the mat. You can come up onto your fingertips, dome your palms, so your hands are making a little dome here, and engage the forearms. But keep the head and neck soft, forehead drop toward the ground. And crawl your hands back up to roll vertebrae on top of vertebrae and sit back up straight. Pop right ear to right shoulder. Right hand comes to sit on top of left ear. Left fingertips reaching toward the earth. And turn the nose in toward the armpit. Hand rests on the back of the head. Feel this right in through the back side of the neck. Release the hand, roll the nose to center, and come all the way back up. Pop left ear to left shoulder, right or left fingertips rest on top of right ear, right fingertips reach toward the earth. And remember, you don't need to pull here. Gravity will do the work. Don't you worry, we're going to do a lot of work today. Let gravity take its turn when you can. And turn the nose in toward the armpit. Let the hand rest on the back of the head. Lift the hand up, roll the nose to center, and back up. Let's all move in to a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, drop the belly for cow pose. Chest comes open. Shoulders rotate outward, hip points back and up. And we'll exhale to cat pose, curl through the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Take a few of those in traditional cat-cow breath to movement. Inhale, drop the belly, chest shines forward. Exhale, curl through the spine, chin to chest. Continue on your own breath. Option here to take a different variation. Maybe you want to drop your hips back to your heels and come up through baby cobra. Maybe you want to come side to side. Maybe you want to rock hips and shoulders side to side. Whatever feels good here. Thread the needle if that's in your practice. Take whatever movement you need right now. This is your time to find some organic movement, to find what your body needs before we really start to flow. Wherever you are, if you've taken one side, even it out on the other side. And we'll all meet in a neutral tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's take a moment to fire everything up here. Press down into your hands so you're lifting up out of your wrists. Feel your upper back, your upper arms at work. So that upper back can just slightly dome, nothing crazy, but just enough so that you're pushing the back up out of the shoulders, keeping this active. So it might feel a little counterintuitive because your hands are going to press down and your shoulders are going to press up, not up toward your ears, but up toward the ceiling. Scoop the belly button back toward the spine. And knit the low ribs in together like you're wearing a corset, actively squeezing them together. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Beautiful, yogis. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees about 2 inches. Keep everything working. Keep those abs working. Keep those shoulders working. Keep pressing down with the hands. And drop the knees. Beautiful. You can take a little cat-cow. You can take a little movement here, whatever you feel like you need. Now let's move back into our tabletop, our active tabletop. Hands pressed down, shoulders pressed up, belly button towards spine, low ribs knit together, toes tucked under. And we'll exhale, lift the knees. And drop the knees back down. Take your little counter movement, whatever that is here. We'll move into this one last time. Start from our engaged tabletop. Remember, lifting up out of those hands, up out of those shoulders. And exhale, lift the knees. And this time, instead of dropping back down, bring hip points back and up. Press into the hands for a downward facing dog. Really pedal your dog out here. It's our first down dog of class. Feel those calves stretching. Feel the hip points moving back and up to elongate the spine. Press up and out of those wrists by pressing into the knuckles. Maybe lift one leg and then the other if you feel like that's what you need. Maybe opting to bend both knees and roll into the toes. Lift the tailbone, the hips back and up, and then dropping the heels back to the earth. Remember, this is our first down dog. They'll get better. It's also the morning, so give yourself some grace. Look toward the hands, bend the knees, and walk the feet behind the wrists. We'll take a ragdoll here. You can slightly bend the knees, hinge at the hips, upper body completely loose. You can reach for opposite elbows if that feels good. And you can rock back and forth, side to side. Really let everything hang loose from the hips up. The hips to the crown of the head, almost like you're hanging on a clothesline. Shake the head, yes. And shake the head, no. Shake the head, maybe. Drop your hands back to the earth. Slightly bend the knees. Tuck the tailbone, and we're going to roll all the way back up to a standing position. Arms come up. And then bring your hands to heart center. Press your palms together to open the chest up. Shoulder blades roll together and down the back. Press down into all four corners of your feet. Engage your abs. Engage your thighs, your quads so much that they lift up off the knees. If you choose to practice with an intention, here's a beautiful moment to seal in your intention. Mine today is going to be gratitude, just feeling gratitude for being here, having this practice, being safe and healthy. If that's not your thing, make sure you're using this time to press your feet down into the ground, press your palms together, keep it active. All right, we'll drop to mountain pose. Let your arms fall to your sides, palms forward. And let's start with a little flow, sun A flow. Inhale, lift your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, drop your right hand forward and your left hand backward. Square the hips to the front of the room. Feel your upper body opening to the side. Arms back up to center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop the right hand forward, left hand backward. Hips squaring to the front of the mat. Really take time to reach those fingertips actively in opposite directions. Arms come back up to center. Inhale, up, and exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down, hinging at the hips. You can bring your hips or your feet to hip width distance. Really let it go here. Maybe take a moment, hug the backs of your legs. And then let's take a halfway lift, starting either with your fingers on the mat, or for my first one, I like to start with the hands on the shins or on the thighs. Squeeze the belly button to the spine. Pull the crown of the head toward the top of the mat, the tailbone toward the back of the mat. Shoulder blades squeeze together in the back like you're holding a pencil between them. And let's take a chaturanga. Option here to take a traditional chaturanga, a belly to baby cobra, or just pop back into downward facing dog, knowing that all these options are here for you. And I'll cue a traditional chaturanga. High plank, hinge about 2 inches forward, elbows come into the sides, lower to a low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, chest shines forward, feet flipped, knees engaged and off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog, hip points come back and up. Beautiful. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, step walker, jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Curl through the lower spine, press down into your feet and root to rise. Arms sweep back up to the ceiling. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Left hand drops forward, right hand drops back. Inhale, both hands rise. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, back to center. We're taking this breath to movement. Exhale, hinge at the hips and lean forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. I'll take high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hip points back and up. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, step walker, jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, root to rise, press the feet down, arms sweep all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, twist on the right. Left arm drops forward. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right arm drops front. Twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length in the spine. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice or meet down in down dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful, yogis. Let's move into a little sun B here. Inhale, lift your right leg high. And because this is our first time, just take a second here. You can stack the hips. You can make some circles with the leg. Beautiful. So we'll meet in our three-legged dog here. Right leg up in the air, toes pointed toward the ground. Let's keep the hips level. Inhale, lift. Exhale, low lunge. Drop the right foot in between the hands. And you can rock back and forth here. Really get into it. Maybe straighten the front leg, rock onto the knee. Rock the hips side to side to really set up. And we're going to move from here into our Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. So swivel the back heel down at a 45-degree angle. You might need to pop it in a little bit. I always do. And go ahead and come all the way up. Start with your hands on your hips and square them. Pull the left hip forward, the right hip back. So they're square and facing the same direction. You want to bend into that front knee and adjust accordingly. If you need to move this back leg forward in order to get good alignment here, having the front knee bent, front knee tracking over the front ankle, and the hip square, go ahead. You don't get any extra points for having your legs really far from each other. Beautiful. And when you're ready, let your hands float up to the ceiling. Your legs should be active here. Thighs pressing away from each other. But your inner thighs squeezing in toward each other. So the legs are kind of moving out away from each other, but the inner thighs are squeezing closer together. Belly button coming in and up. Shoulder blades come together and down the back. Beautiful, yogis. And then we'll move into our Warrior 2 on the right. Swivel the back heel to parallel the back of the mat. Bend into the front knee. Arms reach in opposite directions. Belly button squeezes toward the spine. We'll tick-tock the hands to 6 and 12 o'clock then, extended side angle. Option here to press the back of your hand against the inside of your right foot. You can set the forearm on the thigh, whatever you need to do here. Reach that left hand up. If you want to open up the hips a little more, take the left hand, manually pull the hip to open it up. And reverse warrior, maintaining the bend in the front knee. Sweep your right hand all the way up. Left hand can sit on the back thigh, or you can take a little bind, wrapping it around to reach toward the front thigh. Beautiful. We're cartwheel the hands all the way down to frame the front foot, and then take a little twist. Press the left hand down into the mat, lift the right hand high. Let's bring that hand back down. Drop the back knee to the mat. We're going to take a half split here. So bring your hips all the way square and back. So you want to pull that right hip crease back. Flex the front foot. Find length in the spine and move down toward the leg. Lengthen the spine and melt over the leg. One last time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Drop the head and neck here. Maybe do a little figure 8 with the neck. And then we'll move slowly back into our low lunge. Press into the hands and step back into downward facing dog. We'll take that same flow on the next side, and then we'll move breath to movement. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Again, it's our first time. You can stack the hips, make some circles. And three-legged dog, hips square, toes pointed toward the ground, foot flexed. Inhale up, exhale, low lunge. We'll move right into our Virabhadrasana or Warrior One. 45 angle degree on that back foot. Find a bend in the front knee. Square your hips toward the front. When you're feeling good, arms float out to the ceiling. We're going to hold this for a few breaths, but really focus on what else you can do. Can you bring your shoulder blades together and down? Can the belly button be closer to the spine? Are the hips square? Are the legs active? Beautiful. Open up to Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Parallel that back foot. Arms reach in opposite directions. Really engage those legs. Squeeze the thighs together. Crown of the head moves up toward the ceiling. Arms are actively reaching in opposite direction. We'll take that extended side angle, hinge forward, tick-tock the hands to 6 and 12 o'clock. Remember, you can take that top hand, manually open the hip up. Top arm reaches up toward the ceiling. And let's take a reverse warrior. Sweep the left hand toward the back wall, but kind of up and back. Right hand can be placed on the right thigh, or it can come around for a bind. If the bind isn't in your practice, don't worry about it. Beautiful. Cartwheel the hands down. Plant the right hand, lift the left hand high for a twist. Beautiful. Left hand comes down, right knee drops, and we'll move into that half split. Peel the left hip crease back to meet the right. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, melt the body down. Keep that front leg straight, front toes flexed. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. And let's come all the way back up to our low lunge, and we'll step back into down dog. We're going to take that same little flow 2 times, breath to movement. Starting in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1 on the right. Exhale, Warrior 2. Swivel the back foot to parallel the back wall. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, tick-tock the hands, 6 and 12 o'clock. Inhale, reverse warrior, sweep the hand up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale, press the left hand down. Exhale, lift the right hand high, twist. Inhale, drop the hand back down. Exhale, drop the back knee and sit back to your half split. Inhale, roll back forward, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, back foot 45-degree angle. Exhale, parallel the foot, Warrior 2. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale once here. And exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot. Inhale, drop the right hand. Exhale, twist, left hand lifts. Inhale, back down. Exhale, drop the knee, half split on the left. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Inhale, warrior one on the right. Exhale, warrior two, parallel the back foot. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, tick-tock the hands, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the foot. Inhale, drop the left hand. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, right hand comes back down. Exhale, sit back into your half split. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one on the left. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Tick-tock those hands. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot. Inhale, drop the right hand. Exhale, twist left hand high. Inhale, drop the hand back down. Exhale, sit back into your half split. Flex that foot. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Option here to come down to your knees and find a seated position, or you can take a chaturanga to get there. So inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's all drop onto our knees. And we can slide over onto the hips. We're going to take a little boat series here. So we'll start off with just a traditional boat pose, Navasana. Seal your hip points down into the earth. Bring your toes out in front of you. Find length in the spine. Bring the hands to the backs of the thighs to start. Shoulder blades come together and down the back. You can rock when you're ready. Abs are engaged. Rock back onto the toes. Seal the inner thighs together. If this is enough for you, hang out here. If you want to parallel the shins, go right ahead. If you want to straighten the legs all the way, maybe that's where you're at today. If you want to let the arms to the sides, let the arms to the sides. Just remember, actively zip those legs together. Find softness in the face, in the fingertips. Beautiful. Drop the toes down. Hands fall behind you. Let's rock the knees from side to side. We're going to take that again. Plant the hips down, sits bones rooting down. Hands start behind the thighs, shoulder blades together and down, lengthen the spine, and rock back. Stay here or lift into whatever variation you took last time, or something different if that feels right. Boat pose feels different to me every single time I do it. Every day my body feels different. Every day it's capable of a different variation, whether that's more or less than I did the day before. Option to hang out here in boat pose. Option to make it a little more active. So on the exhale, lowering down, to your legs and shoulders are just lifted. Inhale, coming back up to boat. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, back up. 3 more. Exhale, down. Inhale, back up. Keep those inner thighs moving together. Exhale, down. Inhale, back up. Wherever you are, plop the feet back down on the ground. Let your hands fall behind you. And drop the knees from side to side for yogi windshield wipers. Beautiful. Let's cross the legs and we're gonna come on back forward. Let's take a cat-cow here, maybe 2. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round through the spine. Beautiful. Curl the toes under, sit the hips all the way back toward the heels. We're going to step all the way, hips back and up slowly into your down dog. If you need to pedal it out here, take a moment. Beautiful. So we're going to move into our half splits. So you can walk your feet a little bit closer to your hands and then lift the right leg high. You want to keep the toes pointed toward the ground, keep the hips level. I would rather, it's so easy to get your leg up in the air if you stack your hips, but it's so much harder and you have to really use the muscle and the flexibility. If you square or flex your feet, square your hips, point your toes toward the ground and lift up. And I'd so much rather see that. Beautiful. From here, I want you to step back into your Virabhadrasana 1 or your Warrior 1. So you're going to use your abs to step all the way back into that Warrior 1. Square the hips. Keep the bend in the front knee. Beautiful, yogis. Arms float up. So listen really carefully. From your Virabhadrasana 1 or your Warrior 1, I'm going to have you press down into the left foot. Bring your weight into the left foot. Arms are slowly going to come from straight up into goalpost arms or cactus arms. They'll be out at right angles at your sides. You're going to press, use the leverage from the back foot to press the weight into the front foot and bring the knee all the way through to stamp the foot. The knee should be at a right angle, the sole of your foot facing the ground. Beautiful. From here, you can hang out here, really ground that standing foot, all 4 corners into the mat. And you can straighten out in front if that feels good. If not, just stay here in the bent knee. If you straighten, to make sure you're plugging that leg into the socket so it's not your right foot hip is going to want to come forward. Really plug it back. All right, from here, we're going to kick the leg all the way back and come into our Warrior 3. So Warrior 3, arms reaching back toward your feet, hips square. You want one long line of energy from the crown of your head all the way through your feet. Leg kicking backward. If you fall, that's okay. If you rock, that's okay. Try to gaze down at the floor in front of you. From here, drop your hands down to the ground, and we're back in our half split. So bring your foot down to meet it, bend the knees a little bit, take a little release here. We're going to take that same movement in a little bit of a flow. So we'll start here, just in a forward fold. Inhale, half split, right leg. Actually, let's take it. I'm sorry, I lied. Let's come back into center, reset. That was my bad. We're going to move on the left side now. So inhale, lift the left leg high, square the hips, and then we'll come back to our warrior one. Beautiful. From warrior one, keep the hips square, find your foundation, bend in that knee. Kick forward, knee comes up. And bent arms, goalpost arms. Maybe straighten that leg. And then we're going to kick all the way back through, arms reaching backward into warrior three. And from warrior three, hands fall to the ground. We're in a half split and leg comes down to meet the other. So let's take that flow on each side twice. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, back onto our warrior one. Inhale, push through. Exhale, warrior three. Leg comes all the way back. If you fall, that's okay. Inhale, arms fall, half split again. Exhale, right leg comes down to meet the left. Inhale, lift the left leg high, half split. Exhale, warrior one on the left. Inhale, sweep through. Keep those abs engaged. This is hard balance work. Exhale, warrior three. Focus, focus, focus. You've got this. Drop the hands and lift the left leg high. Down to meet the right. I'm going to let you take the next on your own. And if you want to go a little faster and see what that's like, if you want to go as slow as you can and see what that's like, play with that here. You have a few moments to really enjoy this. And if you want to eliminate anything or add anything, go ahead. This is your practice. So take this time to really find this flow. I'll be doing it up here, but I'm not gonna cue. So you can do it on your own. But if you need a little guidance, I will be here. So feel free to look up. Try to visualize which pose you're going to do next in your mind before you do it. Picture what you're going to have to do. Wherever you are, finish out your last cycle. We're all in forward fold here. And you can toe heel your feet to hip width distance if they're not already there. And slide your hands underneath your feet so that the ball of your foot is resting inside your palm. Toes should just be grazing your wrists. And just rock the feet side to side for a little massage of the palms. Inhale, find length in the spine. Find as flat of a back as you can. Hip points move back and up. Exhale, melt head closer to the knees. One more time. Inhale, find length in the spine. And exhale, melt. Slide your hands out You can plant your hands firmly. Take your last chaturanga of class, or feel free to step all the way back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, chest shines forward. Exhale, hip points back and up. Inhale, everyone lift the right leg high. Exhale, pigeon pose on the right. Sweep the right ankle behind the left wrist. Walk that left leg backward. If your right hip is up off the ground, feel free to pop a pillow, a blanket, a block underneath. Actively bring your hands to either side of your hips. Chest shines up. Hips squeeze to square. Left hip crease comes forward. Right hip crease comes backward as we put our pigeon to sleep. You can walk forward to the hands, to the forearms, or all the way down. Keep it active. Inhale, pull the left hip crease forward. Exhale, right hip crease comes back. Inhale, left hip crease forward. Exhale, right hip crease back. One last time. Inhale forward and exhale back. And using your hands, climb all the way back up. Press into the hands, flip the back toes, and we'll step into a three-legged dog. Lift that leg up in the air. Come on back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, pigeon, or lift the left leg high, Left leg high. Exhale, pigeon on the left. Left ankle comes behind right wrist. Walk that right leg backward. Square the hips if this hip is up off the ground. Make sure you slide something underneath so you can square those hips effectively. Inhale, square the hips, find length. Exhale, put that pigeon to sleep. Whatever that means to you today. And same thing. We'll inhale, pull the right hip crease forward. And exhale, left hip crease backward. And slowly crawl all the way back up. Flip your toes under. Press into the hands to lift that left leg high. Come back down into our downward facing dog. Roll forward into a high plank and lower all the way back down to the belly. From here, pop the hands to the sides, palms facing the ceiling. Take just a moment here. And then on your exhale, lift the chest, lift the arms, lift the feet. Move everything up. Keep the chin slightly tucked for a lengthening in the back of the spine. And drop everything back down. Bring your right cheek to the mat. Feel free to take that one again, or you can kick your heels back toward your hips. Reach for the inner edges of your feet. And exhale, lift up, pressing the backs of the feet into the hands and up toward the ceiling. Whichever form you're taking, keep everything moving upward, but have a slight bend in that chin. Tuck in that chin to lengthen the spine. And release. Bring the opposite cheek to the mat. And bring your hands to either side to press yourself all the way back up on your knees. Sit on one hip and let the legs come out in front. We're going to do a forward fold here. So really pull the hip points down into the mat. Legs come straight out in front of you. Ground down through the hip points to push the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Arms float up. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bend forward. You can grab onto backs of thighs. You can grab onto backs of shins, backs. What are the backs of the shins or the calves? Or you can grab on to the feet. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, melt forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. And inhale, roll all the way back up. If you need to scoop forward on your mat, we're going to roll all the way back down to lie on the back. Let's just start welcoming those knees into the chest. You can take a hug here, rolling back and forth. You can take a happy baby. Take whatever you need to take. And then let's move into a bridge pose. Take your heels, pop them right behind your hips. Get them as close as you can. Press down into the heels as the hips lift up. Snuggle the shoulder blades underneath the chest. If you want to take a bind, go ahead, interlace fingers and curl those hands more underneath the hips. Actively press down with the heels and forward with the shins. Chest comes up toward this, or chest comes toward chin, chin comes toward ceiling. Remember, this is active. Heels actively push down, shins actively push forward. You should feel those quads engage. Belly button pulls towards spine, low ribs really knit together. If you've taken the bind, release the bind. We'll roll onto the balls of the feet and from the top down, lower vertebrae by vertebrae. Go ahead, rock the knees from side to side. You can give your knees a hug to the chest if that's what you need right now. We're going to take bridge one more time. If full wheel is in your practice, go ahead and pop into full wheel. If not, don't worry about it. Go ahead, crawl those heels toward your hips. Snuggle the shoulder blades underneath you. Press down into the heels to let the hips float up. If you want to take that bind, go ahead, interlace underneath your hips. Press down through the heels and forward through the shins. Chest to chin, chin to ceiling. If you've taken your full wheel, now is the moment to come down out of that. If you've taken your bind, release your hands from underneath you. Let's everyone roll onto the balls of the feet and lower down from the top down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Rock the knees from side to side. Go ahead, welcome the knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Maybe take a happy baby here if that feels good. Rock side to side. Go ahead, squeeze right knee into right armpit. Let left leg go long. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, twist toward the left. Right knee comes toward the left side, hips stack. You can bring your hands out to goalpost arms or out to a T. Gaze falls up at the ceiling or toward your right fingertips. Feel the detoxifying benefits of twists as your organs wring out anything that's not necessary. Really let everything go here. Take a moment to just relax. And then use your hands to guide your knee back into your chest. Left knee comes to meet it. Everyone gets a squeeze in, a little self-love today. And then let the right leg go long. Left leg comes into left armpit. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, bring left leg across the body. Stack the hips. Arms come out. Ooh, crack my back a little bit. Arms come out to a T or to goalpost arms. Gaze up at ceiling or toward left fingertips. Check in with yourself. Does this side feel a little different from the other side? Maybe yes, maybe no. If you practiced with an intention today, maybe come back to that intention. Beautiful, yogis. Go ahead, guide that left knee back into the chest. You can give yourself a little squeeze here. Let's all take one happy baby before we find our final Shavasana. Stamp the soles of the feet up on the ceiling and find whatever organic movement here you'd like. Maybe a rock back and forth. Maybe a straightening of one leg and then the other. Maybe bringing the soles of the feet together. Find what you need today. And in one last push, knees come into chest, forehead comes up toward the knees to meet them. Give one final squeeze, push every muscle in your body, and release to final Shavasana. Legs fall open out to the sides, palms up toward the ceiling, shoulder blades snuggled in and rested down on the mat. If you'd like, you can take your hands, give yourself a manual adjustment. Take your hands to the back of your head, really letting your palms fall into that bony part of the back of the head and pull the head up and set it down. So you're pulling the back of your head toward the top of your mat and then setting it down. So there's a slight tuck in the chin. If you've done that, let your arms rest back at your sides. Relax the eyebrows, the temples, cheekbones. Let the jaw be so relaxed that the lips might slightly part. Shoulders melt into the mat. Abdominals, release any control. Hips, inner thighs, letting everything go. Relax the calves, the ankles, the soles of the feet. Let any tension in the fingers or toes dissipate. The earth is there to support you and let you fully surrender in this final Shavasana. Final Shavasana is yours for as long as you'd like it. If you're not quite ready to be guided out yet, go ahead, close your laptop or your phone, or just ignore me as I move forward. But if you are ready to be guided out, start to find some gentle movement in your fingers and your toes. Rock the head from side to side. And make some gentle movements in your wrists and your ankles as you start to wake up from the outside in. Feel the coolness of the air hit the back of your throat with every inhale. When you're ready, sweep the hands all the way up overhead for a long, full body stretch, arms and legs reaching in opposite directions. When you're ready, roll over onto your right or left side in fetal pose using the bicep as a pillow. Take a moment here, check in with yourself. Check in how you're feeling right now. Final Shavasana represents the death of our practice. Here in fetal pose, we mark the new life that we bring off of our mats and out into the world. Using the strength of your hands, press yourself all the way up to a seated position. Bring your hands together at heart center. The love, the light, the teacher and the student in me honors the love, the light, the teacher and the student in all of you. Bring your hands to third eye center and bow forward. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for joining today. I'm really grateful to have you all here to practice. So thanks, and have a great rest of your Saturday.